What's up, everybody? Three Things with JR is back. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new week. It is time for Three Things with JR. Welcome back to the show. I am here. You are here. Let's do this. This was a fun last couple of days for me. I got to do some performing in ways I haven't done in a long time. My band, The Band Big, the band you just heard playing the Three Things with JR theme song, a song called Brand New Day. We got together and we played music. The first time we did this in public in a long time as a full-on electric threesome. Brian McKenzie, Gary Hawthorne, and myself all showed up at Gary's house. I mean, it was there, but there was also like 30 or 40 people there gathered celebrating somebody's marriage. I don't know who, somebody in Gary's in-laws or something like that. I have no idea. I still, even though it was there, I don't know which couple it was that actually got married, but because they did and wanted to celebrate, we did. I showed up with the PA system and my drums. We set everything up. It's the first time I've set our PA system up in a year and a half, more than that probably, to play for the to hook up the entire band. 3 vocal mics, guitar mic, kick drum mic, direct in for the acoustic. I mean, like all the stuff had to be plugged in and wired up to our fancy mixer that has been sitting idle and dormant since well before even the pandemic, because any gigs we had before that, we were using the house PA, like when we played at the Southern. So this was like getting familiar with our equipment again. Like all we normally do is we just go rehearse and then we record a podcast about something stupid and then I go home and that's it. But this was an actual like show. We played for an hour and a half. We played all the songs we have been rehearsing for the last year and a half. Brand New Day just gets better and better every time we play it, and it was amazing. And then on Sunday, I got to go to Richmond to a brand new comedy club in Richmond called the Sandman Comedy Club. They've just been open literally a few weeks. They have an open mic on Sunday nights. It's a free show. I got signed up. I got picked randomly from the people that signed up, and I got to do 5 minutes of comedy in a legit comedy club, like a room, a space built for doing comedy. A stage, a mic, the stool, like it's all, we're not in a place that's normally set up for music. We're not in the middle of a restaurant. It's an actual comedy club, and that is so cool. I hope to one day be there in some larger capacity than simply an open mic, but this was getting my feet in the door, and hopefully it seemed to go well. There wasn't a ton of audience there. I mean, it was Mother's Day, so there was literally no mothers in the crowd. It was just several groups of people. There was about 15 people there total, so not a huge crowd, but the night went really well. The food at this place was fantastic. The sound was good. The stage was good. The staff was awesome, and it was a lot of fun doing real comedy again. And then today, Monday, May 10th, as when I'm recording this episode's going to drop in less than 12 hours. But today, the Band Big got that whole PA system again all set up, this time at Cedars Nursing Home in Charlottesville, Virginia. We work with a charity called AMP, or Accessible Music Project. And what AMP does is they bring musicians into places to play for people that can't get out to see music, to see live music, to go to a show, which means we're playing for nursing home audiences, which is totally fine with us because they are starving for a rock concert. The folks that are in nursing homes right now, they're not the big band era. They're not from the 20s and the 10s, right? These are folks that grew up with rock and roll, coming of age in the rock and roll era. Those are the folks now in nursing homes, and they loved it. We turned the PA system all the way up, electric guitars, full drum set, big bass. I mean, I had a subwoofer pounding, and we had it blasting full volume at about 20 to 30 folks, as well as a bunch of staff. They all came outside at the nursing home. We were in the parking lot, far away, socially distanced and everything. They all had masks on, and we played for them for an hour, and it was amazing. The coolest part of it was about 45 minutes in, the nice lady that runs the nursing home came over and says, "This is sounding great, guys. Thank you so much." One of the neighbors, a guy in an apartment building across the street, called and asked if you guys could potentially turn it down because the bass is rattling his windows. And I looked at the clock. I saw that we only had like 15 minutes left to play. And I told her, yes, I will turn it down. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And if he calls back, tell him we're going to be done in 15 minutes. So it's National Nursing Home Week. We're celebrating. We're making these people happy and performing and having a good time doing it. It's an hour. So we didn't actually turn it down. And later on, the nursing home lady came over and said, "I'm so glad you didn't turn it down. Just let that guy call the police." That's the kind of nursing home I might ever consider living in. A place that wants a rock and roll concert to be as loud as they can possibly be. Next time, if we play there again, we have more subwoofers and more speakers we can bring. We can be louder, and maybe we will. I do have a guest on the show this week. I did do that thing where I call somebody out of the blue, unsuspectingly, no warning whatsoever. In case you're wondering, I don't text them first. I don't call them first. I don't send them an email. I don't in any way, shape, or form alert anybody that I'm calling them and I'm about to interview them for my podcast. So what you're about to hear in a few minutes is my discussion, my interview, my chat with Duane Lomis. Duane Lomis is the younger brother to my best friend, Darren Lomis. Darren and I went to high school together, along with Chris, who's actually been on this show just a few weeks ago. Darren and Chris and I used to hang out, and Duane was Darren's little brother. So we didn't hang out with Duane as much. Duane was kind of always around when we were at Darren's house. And now that we're all adults, it doesn't matter that he's the younger brother. He's incredibly successful at what he does. He is in the world of audio video production. He works for Arlington County Schools for their in-school video stuff, right? Video meetings. He's been very, very busy during the pandemic, facilitating all sorts of virtual meetings and classes and stuff like that, school board meetings, things like that, which you might be thinking, well, this doesn't sound like it's going to be all that much interesting, but we do get a little technical. But let me tell you, he really loves his work. And I think if you like listening to people who are passionate about what they do, you're really going to enjoy this, because Duane is doing what he loves. And when he's not doing his full-time job at Arlington Schools, he's doing the same stuff on the side and actually installing equipment and running it and doing web conferencing and stuff for people on the side. Like, he lives, eats, and breathes video production, live and post and all of that stuff. So he knows the gear, he knows how to make it work. And I had a fun time talking to him about that, because clearly I'm always up for some tips on how to make this podcast work better. And I love talking to him about how TV shows work, because he knows how they work, because he does them for Arlington County Schools. So, and we also get into some what do you do when you're not working type of conversation. And I think you're going to find that Duane's quite the interesting dude. And I've always liked Duane. And now that he's not just the younger brother who's always hanging out with my friends, he's just another person who I respect and like and enjoyed talking to. And I think you'll enjoy hearing my conversation with Duane Lomis. So that's coming up here in a few minutes. First, I want to give you my 3 things. And what's different tonight is that I did not make any notes. I didn't write anything down. All of this is just what's in my head right now to tell you. So the 3 things that I'm about to share with you are not well thought out or scripted. Hopefully, I don't stutter and stammer all over myself. So here we go.
Thing number 1.
I've been, ever since basically, I'm already stuttering and stammering. So let me start again. Ever since the George Floyd thing last year, I have been trying to figure out, as a super privileged white male, what should I be doing? And one of the things I read that was, I forget who posted it, seemed like a good idea to me, was to educate myself on the Black experience in America today and in the past and in the way past. Like, how did we get to where we are right now? And so I've been doing that. I've been reading, and a lot of it is listening to audiobooks and podcasts. And, thing number one is supposed to be something deep. And here is it in a nutshell. The more I learn about how we got to where we are today in America, with our past, with slavery and racism and Jim Crow and all of that stuff, how we got from there to here, the more I learn about that, the more I realize I don't know or understand it at all. Like, I still, it's unfathomable to me so far. How did it begin? How did people just think other people were less than people and that they should be owned and enslaved and all of that? That part I still, like, I don't get how the first person decided that. I still don't understand that. I'm trying to. And if anybody has any insights on that, I would love to hear it. But as far as like the last 400 years in America and as an explanation for where we are today, that makes a lot more sense to me based on the history of police as slave squads and the fact that Blacks were not allowed to be educated for many, many years, and of course not allowed to vote. And of course, the more I learn about all of that stuff, the more mind-boggling it is, and the more I realize I need to know. And so I am very much interested in learning more and more about that. I'm in the middle right now. I've just really started a book called The Warmth of Other Suns. It's a recommendation from my mother. And so far, it's pretty great. It's all about the Great Migration of Southern Blacks moving out of the South, and it's riveting, and it's a lot more modern than a lot of the stuff I've read. I'm also in the middle of a Frederick Douglass biography, which, golly, I had no idea how much I didn't know about this stuff. So that's it. Thing number one is me sort of learning about that, and I highly recommend it for anybody who doesn't already know everything there is to know about the Black experience, especially in America here. Okay, thing number two.
Thing number two.
I am an Audible subscriber, and I am listening to audiobooks on Audibles a lot, but when I need a break from an audiobook, Audible has a cool series called Music and Words, something like that. I'm butchering it. This is not a paid Audible ad in any way, shape, or form, so I'm not reading sales copy or anything like that. But Words and Music series. I mentioned one of these as a thing on a previous episode that I heard Tom Morello basically giving his life story and playing music along the way for a live audience, and it was recorded, and it's like a 2-hour show on Audible, and it's awesome. I've listened to a couple more that were done more recently during the pandemic. Sting did one. I've always enjoyed, Roxanne and the Police's music, but I didn't really know anything about Sting's story, how he got to where he was and is today. So that was really interesting. And the one I just listened to the other day, which was fantastic, was Steve Earle. If you want to hear Steve Earle alone in a room in Electric Ladyland Studios in the Greenwich Village in New York City, talking about music, and specifically the moment in 1965 when rock and roll becomes art. I'm not going to spoil it any more than that. It's all Steve Earle's, talking about how he got to where he is today, the music that got him there, and Bob Dylan and the Beatles and New York City and all of that stuff. It's Steve Earle. It's classic Steve Earle. And the man is a poet. It doesn't sound like he's reading stuff he wrote. It sounds like he's speaking off the cuff. And I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's got like a bullet pointed list in front of him, but man, the man just speaks in poetry. It is fantastic to hear him talk. And so I highly recommend Words and Music series by Audible. It's one of the benefits of being a subscriber to Audible. There you go. That's thing number 2.
Thing number 3.
Okay. Is it this week or next week? I was having a discussion with my mother recently about this, and we did not come to an agreement because I don't think anybody can agree on this. If you're talking about something that's going to happen on an upcoming day, like I'm recording this on a Monday, if I want to tell you about something that's going to happen on on Thursday, right, of this week, is it next Thursday or this Thursday? You're answering yourself right now, and every one of you has, there's 50-50 camps on this. There are 2 schools of thought here. For me, if it's Monday and I'm telling you about something that's happening on Thursday, that's this Thursday. Some people would say what's happening next Thursday, which to me means not this Thursday, but next Thursday. Like we got one Thursday in between this Thursday and next Thursday. But the problem is when you really start to talk about this with people and help you, and you know how you think about it, but nobody else thinks about it the same way as you, and you'll end up talking yourself in circles trying to come to a consensus. Because as I was trying to help my mother understand how I think of it, if I'm talking about this Thursday, I can't describe why I think it's this Thursday without using the word next to describe how this Thursday is the very next Thursday, and that next Thursday is not this Thursday, it's next Thursday. You see what I'm saying? It makes perfect sense to me, but you can't describe this Thursday without using the word next. You can't explain why it's this Thursday instead of next Thursday without calling it next or using the word next. It's frustrating. We got to figure this out. There's probably grammar rules in place somewhere that I'm just fully unaware of. I don't know. Not that I've followed grammar rules. I just sort of say what makes sense. And to me, if it's happening this Thursday, it's this Thursday. And if it's happening next Thursday, it's the Thursday after this Thursday. It's next Thursday. Anyway, there you go. Those are my 3 things. We're going to do a quick ad break. We'll be right back for my conversation with my good friend's little brother, Duane Lomis.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. There's no time for play. Get up, get up, get up. It's a brand new day.
Hello?
Duane?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Good.
What are you up to?
Man, I got like 5 different projects going on right now.
Yeah? So do you have any time to talk to me, or is now not a good...
I can talk. No, I just finished talking to somebody about this funeral that I'm going to be web streaming on Sunday. So I just finished, like literally just hung up with him when you were calling. So,
sweet. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but you're on my podcast right now.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Right?
It's crazy.
Okay.
Are you willing and able to do that?
Yeah, sure. I just hope you're not going to ask me some crazy questions, but
oh man,
yeah, cool.
it's going to be some of the toughest questions you've ever heard, man. I hope you're prepared.
All right.
I kid. No, what I do on my podcast is I call people I haven't spoken to in forever and get caught up with them. And if they let me, then I put it out as an episode of my podcast.
Okay.
And, I'm best friends with your brother, so I haven't called him yet because I talk to him fairly regularly, but I haven't spoken to you in forever.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yep.
So, So this is just for the people at home. I'll introduce you later. I'll record an intro so they'll know who you are. But
right.
For now, though, just forget I told you it's a podcast, and this is just you and me talking.
Okay.
So, like, what have you been up to?
So a lot of work. I know how to, web stream and do sound and edit video and do installations, and I have been doing so much of that over, especially probably 10 times more work than a normal year for me, because people want me to web stream their wedding or their funeral or their bat mitzvah or their bar mitzvah, and it's just been a crazy year.
Yeah, because you've always been involved in TV production of some kind, right?
Yes, yep.
And
yep.
So, I remember the days when we were in high school and you were working at the local Channel 38 in Falls Church.
Yep.
And then you were at Arlington Career Center working with their local TV channel. Is that right?
Yeah, the school's TV channel. Yep.
And now what, are you still working with the schools, or are you doing your own thing, or what?
Yeah, so I still work with the schools. I got 25 years this year with them.
No kidding.
It's crazy. I think I can retire from there in 5 years.
Wow.
So this is my 25th year, and I am like the head engineer for Arlington Schools right now, the video engineer.
And are you still very hands-on, or are you like the big boss and everybody comes to you with all their questions and you just tell them what to do?
So it's kind of both. I really have a hard time thinking of myself as a boss, or like as a, like someone that knows, I don't know. I'm just a regular guy that just wants to help people, and I don't, I'm very hands-on. I'm probably too hands-on. I just want to be involved and just make sure stuff goes right. So
you want to be behind a camera, turning knobs, hit at the editing bay, that kind of stuff. Like you really want to work with the actual product.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yep. And like even at my full-time job, like, we were sent home like on March 17th. It was a Monday. We basically were sent home that day. I believe March 17th was a Monday. We were like told don't come back to work until further notice, and I was like, but that might have been March 16th. But basically there was a meeting that was supposed to go live the next day, and I basically said to my boss, like, I still need to come in tomorrow because that meeting has to happen. And long story short, I did come in. Yeah, I took like this crash course on Microsoft Teams because I found out I'd never really used it before.
Yeah.
So like I had 4 hours after my crash course in Microsoft Teams, had to figure out how to integrate that into our broadcast system, because we were going to have a fully virtual school board meeting the next day, and I had to web stream that and basically web stream that and do closed captions and all that stuff on our normal web streaming platforms. So
damn,
and it worked flawlessly like the first day. It was pretty cool. So
that's pretty awesome, man. My company had to do a lot of work. We were already beginning to use Teams over the past couple of years, but when the fit hit the shan at the beginning of the pandemic, all of our entire call center, basically those with enough bandwidth at home, went to work at home, and Teams is what we've used as our main way of communicating. And for a year and a half now, I've been training new sales advisors remotely, completely. I don't ever get to see them in the house anymore,
Yeah.
And Teams, it's not perfect by any stretch, but it's pretty great. I mean, it's really made this doable. And so kudos to you, man, figuring out how to integrate that.
Thanks.
Yeah. We've been doing some at work. We've been doing Facebook Live events, and we know we can. We just have yet to have any kind of like a special guest on the show remotely via Teams or any kind of software like that yet. We just haven't begun doing that yet. But it sounds totally doable. Like we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also like figured out how to basically have hybrid where we have our school board members are in the room, like in their board chamber, and there's all these TVs that are in there, so they can see the Teams meeting and talk to the people on the Teams meeting. It's very transparent for them. That's like the whole goal, was to make it as transparent to the people in the meeting as possible. So they're doing these meetings where there's 7 people in the boardroom now. There's 10 people on the Teams meeting, and we set an extra speaker up in the boardroom so that they can hear the meeting. And we're also doing call-in, people calling in and doing public comment. So we have a phone bridge set up so that basically callers can be queued on the phone bridge, and then they get unmuted when it's their turn to talk, and then they get remuted, or so that they can listen to the rest of the meeting, or they just hang up when they're done talking. And so that's like all worked out really good.
And that's huge, dude. Just making that work and doing it so quick.
Yeah.
So you got told go home and don't come back till further notice, and basically you were back the next day because you had to be. So does that mean you've kind of been back at the school so you can facilitate that kind of stuff on a permanent basis, or have you had to not go to work?
So I've been doing, basically the way I do it is, if I have to sit at my desk, I do that at home. If I have to be hands-on, I go into work. And the one thing was, like, I was doing these meetings myself for a while by myself, because there's no way you can social distance in a 6 foot by 6 foot control room closet.
Right.
So usually, there's 2 people there on hand. But for the first few months, it was like 4 months, March, April, May, I think June, July, we started bringing other people in, and my bosses were all like, you need to like, God forbid you get sick, you need to like make sure some other people know how to do this, what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So started to show other people how to do it and set it up. And so it's kind of like more, a little bit more hands off on the school board meetings and stuff. But then just all this other stuff has been, ramping up. On my side work, it's, spring and fall are the busiest times.
Yeah.
And this has been really a crazy spring. So, are
you the type that struggles with letting go of the reins, showing somebody else how to do stuff that you can do and probably do better? Are you okay with handing out the tasks?
I do have a hard time letting let go of the reins. And in my side work, people are always like, man, you should, like, I got this install job in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, in a hotel. And the people there are like, man, you should hire. I'm like running speaker cable through the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, you should hire somebody to do that. And I was like, look, here's the problem. The rings, the pre-construction rings for the speakers got mounted upside down. So I had to like modify the speakers to work. And it's like, if there was some other guy here doing this right now, he would have seen that and been like, I can't install these speakers. And I was like, I got to make this work. And I don't know, it's just like, I feel like, first of all, I really enjoy it. What I, just doing installs and doing production. And it's just like, it's basically like a hobby I get paid for, because I just really enjoy it. Or there's that other saying where, like, if you enjoy your job, you never work a day in your life, or whatever. So, I don't know. I just really enjoy it.
And do you have your own company on the side? Like, is that, and you do audio video installations, commercial, or 70 volt audio systems, video systems, all that stuff?
All that, I do installs, video systems design, installation. I do production services, web streaming. audio events, like all that kind of video events. Yeah, like pretty much if it's you know, a video or audio or something needs to be transmitted, whether it's to a group of people or the world, I can pretty much do it. So
Yeah. So,
yep.
What's the name of your company?
It's Extreme Media.
Extreme Media.
Yeah.
And you said you're busy as shit right now, right? Like with the
Yep.
pandemic, so you're not actually like looking for advertising and more business. And I don't have a whole lot of listeners to my podcast just yet. So I don't have to. I don't think you're gonna have to worry about like an influx of people calling you, going, "Oh my God, I need your services. I heard you on 3 Things with Jr."
Cool.
But any little bit helps, right? That's good stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I have had to like turn some jobs down. You know, there was a church that asked me to like, you know, they needed like this unbelievable like wiring, and they wanted to like put displays on this wall that like had no access to the ceiling, and they're like, yeah, you can't see any wires. And I'm just like, look, I'm sorry. I'm like, you really need to get like a professional company to do this. I can't. It's just way too much. This is way too much for myself to do.
By professional company, you mean like somebody that can come in and like redo the drywall and stuff, right? Like that kind of.
I mean, this looked to me like it was going to be like $100,000 job.
Yeah.
Like they needed like a kind of company that has like the engineer that designs the whole thing, but he like maybe he'll come to the site once and then they never see him again because he did his design work. Mm-hmm. And then it's like another crew comes in and does the work. That kind of company.
Yeah, so, right. How big is your operation? Do you have any employees or a lot? Or
no, just myself.
Yeah.
I'll hire people to help me like on a one-off basis. So, but I'm really like just wanted to be like, and I like it. You know, I go in, I talk with people, I come up with a plan, I execute the plan, and I just do it all myself. And you know, I might you know, there's some, depending on the job. I had my nephew come and help me, you know, pull some cable. He's kind of into construction. He did it, you know, he helped me, and I got some professional, you know, camera people that I know. I'll have them come in and help me if it's that type of event. So, but yeah.
Yeah, when it's physically impossible to do it all as one person.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like you don't need any extracurricular hobbies or activities, but I can't help but wonder, like, what do you do when you're not working?
Watching baseball or hockey or football, or just chilling. Just, you know, scrolling through YouTube or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I do so much stuff in video, but TV just annoys me so much. Like,
what do you mean TV annoys you?
Just like the way, like the format some shows are in, it's like they want to like hold you through the commercial so that you like watch all the commercials and you don't miss, you know, when they come back from the commercial. That just annoys the piss out of me, and I just have no patience.
Are you talking like
TV.
Like live sporting events when they do that, or?
Oh, I don't know. Live sporting events, that's a different story. I'm talking like the shows like Deadliest Catch, where it's like, you know, oh my gosh, a crab pot like fell over, and then they go to a commercial and it comes back and it's like everybody's fine.
Yeah. Oh, turned out no big deal.
Yeah.
I used to watch Ice Road Truckers, and it was the exact same way. Oh my God, the ice, they show it's cracking, they show a truck maybe going under, and oh no, he's fine. He made it through just fine. Yeah, he's no big deal.
That show annoyed me. I lost so much patience for that show.
Yeah.
Very early on, yep. And I was like, this is exactly why I don't want to watch TV anymore.
Do you watch The Amazing Race?
I know of it, but I don't watch. I've maybe watched a couple minutes of it when someone else was watching it, but
I would love to like watch that show with you from your perspective, with what you know about video production, because I have so many questions. But what made me think of that just now is that I'm with you. I can't stand the fake drama to get you to keep watching, right?
Yes.
If the show is actually good enough and compelling enough, you just don't need to do that.
Yes.
And The Amazing Race is the only reality show, competition game type show at all that I can stand to watch, because they never do that. It's legitimately a entertaining thing to watch, and they don't need to keep me entertained. Like, they don't need to fake it up to get me to come back after the commercial. That's all I want to do, is see more of your show.
Cool.
Like the same production company, I think, has something to do with Survivor, and Survivor's the exact opposite. Like, they are also all about, like, okay, we're going to find out who's being eliminated after the break. Like, oh, come on. I'm going to watch. You don't have to fake it up. But The Amazing Race is, teams of 2 people traveling around the world, completing tasks, again, competing against other teams. There's like 11 teams, and each team has to have their own cameraman and sound man with them, right? So they're riding in taxis, riding on airplanes, riding bicycles. Like, these cameraman and sound man have to keep up. They can't get in the way, because it's a legit game show. And the number of cameramen that are needed, the production that goes into making all this work, it's mind-boggling. There are blogs and websites and videos galore just speculating and sometimes accurately reporting on how they make this show. But I would love to watch it with someone who knows more than I do about how that stuff works. Yeah,
I could only guess, but it's kind of funny. It wouldn't surprise me if they paused the timer. Okay, 5-minute pause. We got to equip this vehicle with microphones and cameras before we continue. They suction cup their little GoPro or whatever on the dash.
So you would think that, right? But they don't. They can't. The producers have talked about this in interviews. Like, we can't. It means sometimes we miss the shot because the cameraman couldn't get in place soon enough. But we can't hold the team up because it's an actual competition. Like, there's laws about that kind of stuff.
Wow. Yep.
And so it's that's why it's so entertaining. I'll bet you might enjoy that, and it's a fantastic show. So
cool. Yep. So I got a question for you.
Okay.
What kind of microphone are you talking to me on?
Oh man, I'm so glad you asked. I got to look at the exact model number. I don't want to mess it up. Hang on a second.
Is it a Neumann at all, or
no? It is okay. I got a deal on this one at work. We used to sell it. We don't sell it anymore. It's a $400 mic that I got for $100, and I'm never giving it up because I've never sounded better. I've gone through 3 or 4 different mics on this podcast, and this one is it's the shit, man. It's an Electro Voice RE320.
Oh, a 320. Okay.
Yes.
I know the RE20, which that's a large diaphragm dynamic mic. Does it look kind of like the RE20?
Yeah, no, I believe it's the newer version of that, right? Because if I understand the story correctly, the RE20 was used, I think it was designed as a studio mic, but people also used it as a kick drum mic. And because of the large diaphragm and everything. So the RE320 is an updated version, same microphone, but it's got an EQ switch on it, so you can EQ it for voice or kick drum. So it's actually built to do what people just were doing anyway with the other one.
Yeah. So, Imus used an RE20. Like, if you ever look at any of his old shows.
Oh my God! That you just made me vomit. Now that
sorry, I didn't mean to.
God,
but that's one of the. I never really listened to him, but I did notice that he was using that, and I think you used to listen to Stern a lot.
I'm a lifelong Stern fan, even though in the last couple years I don't really listen much anymore. I just I got a little bored with it, but I continue to subscribe. I listen to his interviews from time to time, but I don't listen on a daily basis anymore. I'm more about podcasts and audiobooks and music and stuff right now.
Cool. All right.
But Stern uses a Neumann, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he uses a Neumann, but Robin, for a while, I think she had an RE20, but she's, I think, switched over to a Shure.
Yeah.
nowadays. But I don't know what she's doing now that they're doing their stuff over Zoom or whatever.
Right.
But I know they're not using Zoom sound; they're using some of their own stuff.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Sound.
I have a question for you
Oh,
on that. No, it's on. I know you know the answer to this because there's all the podcasts are, of course, all the guests on podcasts are remote, like exactly what you and I are doing right now.
yep.
Except some podcasts do it better than others because the audio is crystal clear on both ends.
Yep.
And they don't send somebody to the star's house and install a microphone to make them sound good. In fact, sometimes I think they're using like iPhone headphones as their microphone sometime, but they still like sound amazing. Like it's even, you see it on TV, even like Jimmy Fallon will have somebody from home and they'll just be wearing those white little ear pods from their iPhone connected to their Mac or whatever. And somehow they sound great. Is there more to it than simply having them record their own local audio and then sending the file so that they can mix it in? Or is there something more to it than that?
I think I know. Like I've been listening to Stern, and he actually talks about how they send a kit to their guests, and then
Really?
they do a day of like hours of testing and set up and they like talk them through, okay, do this to your Zoom. So, but I don't know if they're still using Zoom or they're using like a separate audio program.
Yeah.
And they're just, like, because I mean, you can like set Zoom settings to sound good, but I'm not sure.
So I think I've done some Zoom meetings. I don't pay for it yet, but I think if you pay for Zoom, you can get Zoom to record a local copy of the audio. So from your guest's copy, from their machine, from your machine, like it'll record separate audio files for each speaker, right?
Yep.
And so that's a big deal, even though it's more editing in post. If you're doing like a podcast, I don't know how it does it with live, but that's one way to get it done. Teams, I'm not aware of it having a way to do that. Like you can record in Teams, but I don't think it records separately.
I don't know. Yeah, I do know Teams will do. You can enable NDI streams for Teams, but I think it still mixes the audio. But I actually helped a synagogue do their High Holy Day services in last year.
Yeah.
Over Zoom, and I had the cantor had a live piano player that I mixed with his microphone, sent it into his computer, and then so Zoom has this thing called use original sound, and you can basically, when you turn that on, and it basically will allow you to like it's basically a higher quality audio, and it also minimizes the echo cancellation.
Right.
So because if you like somebody is singing, like the instruments, Zoom is trying to cancel them out, thinking it's some kind of weird echo. So if you turn that off, and it basically you can make it sound just pretty much like we're talking right now. It's pretty cool. And it's like something that I was just like, man, there's got to be a way to turn this crap off on Zoom.
Yeah.
And I just happened to find it, and it really helped the audio quality for their services.
So early in the pandemic, John Krasinski from The Office had a show called Good News or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of the episodes, he had the entire cast of Hamilton on Zoom to sing the opening song to Hamilton to this little girl remotely over Zoom. And like either there was a lot of work done in post to make that work, or they have some sort of special magical Zoom account where everybody's timing is perfect and there's no delay about anything, or what. Like I'm still it blows my mind. Like, how did they actually accomplish that?
So if they had pre-recorded that, there's a lot of people faking it where,
Yeah.
and I've been involved in that, where you basically are like, okay, send you a track, record it with your phone, send it to me, and then they put it all together later.
Uh-huh.
There's this other company, I cannot remember the name, but basically what it does is when you send your audio track out, it's a collaboration, like a music collaboration service.
Yeah.
And it basically sends the audio track out separately so that everybody gets it at the same time. And then you all hear it somehow it's like they do some trick that allows it to work, but it's I don't think it's Zoom. It's man, I wish I could remember the name of that program, but it works from what I haven't used it at all, but it supposedly works really good for like music collaboration.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That stuff, I love figuring that stuff out. I've done a little bit of it with Crutchfield, the podcast, my other show that I do for work. When I do interviews on that show, all I do to make it sound better is I'll have my guest record their own audio on their machine,
Cool.
just using the basic Windows voice recorder, right? And whatever microphone they use, just to have a local copy that's a clean copy of just their voice.
That's cool.
And then I'll have them upload it to like a Google Drive or something, and then we'll put it together in post.
Nice.
And that sounds so much better than the Teams recording or whatever it is we're doing. So
Yeah. Cool.
hey, I noticed when I called you, it's your Facebook photo thing was you on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it right now. You're not wearing a helmet in that, and so I gotta wonder: is that your motorcycle? Do you ride? What's going on with that? Oh no.
No, I don't ride. I'd like to. My friend Greg, I went to visit him in Arizona.
Yeah.
He just got that motorcycle like a couple months before I went to visit him. And I was like, can I sit on it? And I was like, can you get a picture of me sitting on it?
Yeah.
And that was it. That's as far as I rode that bike. I just sat on it. It was like, a friend of mine got like this, I think it was like a Kawasaki or something. It was like a 78 Kawasaki, and I drove that around George Mason High School parking lot because that's where he had it.
Yeah.
And that's the most riding I did, and I was like, that motorcycle, that's obviously a Harley. I'm like, dude, he said I could drive it, but I was like, no. I'm like, I'm not ready to.
Yeah.
I need a lot more practice before I go and destroy your motorcycle. And that thing is so loud. Like, I just am like, I don't want to just drive it around. He like lived in a garden apartments kind of situation. And I just was like, this thing is so loud. I just didn't want to just drive around the parking lot. So, but I saw my brother.
Yeah.
He just recently bought one, and of course he's like, yeah, you can take it up and down the street. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I'm not ready to do that yet. I need to take the class first.
Yeah,
So.
that's a really good idea, is to take the class first, because they don't just teach you like how to ride in traffic. They literally teach you how to operate a motorcycle, how to hold it, how to balance it, how to walk around it, how to know what the heck you're doing at a most basic level, and then you learn how to ride it around and start and stop and change gears and all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot to it. You are smart to not just sure, I'll take your bike out for a spin. That's not a good idea. Especially if it's a nice bike. The bike you're sitting on in this picture is beautiful.
Oh, cool. Yep. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. He is. It's I don't know if you remember Greg.
I remember Greg. Yeah.
Yeah. That's his motorcycle.
Did he come play paintball with us?
Oh my gosh, did he? I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a big bushy hair back then, but now he's completely bald.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on Facebook looking at your picture, and I see his name pops up when I hover over it, and looks almost like he could be a Lomis brother.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. I helped your brother find a motorcycle and buy it, and I'm super excited because now he's got one. He doesn't have to rent bikes anymore. We can go out, and we're I don't know if you know this, but him and I are preparing to take a long trip to Alaska on motorcycles sometime in the next year or two. So
I don't know. He might have mentioned that, but I don't remember him saying that. But that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of a long-term plan. I think we would both like to buy new bikes. New bikes are hard to come by. I think I would like to buy a Goldwing, but
nice.
Goldwings, like, you just can't find them right now. They're making them. They can't make them because of all the same reasons that they're, struggling to make cars and stuff right now, because all the microprocessors and everything, because they're computer powered. So
yes, yeah. Wow. Yep, that is a sweet bike. I don't know if I definitely need a lot more experience before I ever try to balance one of them. So those things are like 800 pounds, aren't they?
Yeah, but don't worry about that, because when you're moving, the centrifugal force of the wheels takes care of that. And when you're not moving, your feet take care of it. And if you're on the right sized bike, balancing it is no problem.
Oh, cool.
If you're on the wrong sized bike, that can be a problem.
Yeah.
So my podcast is called 3 Things with JR. And one of the things I typically do on the show is I'd come up with 3 things. And thing one, this started years ago when I was just like post 3 things on Facebook, and now I've turned it into a podcast.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah. Cool.
I've listened to 1 or 2 of them, actually.
Nice. Okay, cool. So now is when I put you on the spot and make you come up with 3 things. Thing number 1, all I'm looking for here is some kind of a deep thought, something kind of epiphany, something that moves you. Have you had any revelations or deep thoughts recently that you can share with me?
It's I think it's crazy. It's just unbelievable to me that the Earth is a little over 24,000 miles circumference, and we pretty much travel that in a day, in 24 hours. So we're basically traveling over 1,000 miles an hour. When we're just sitting here right now, we're traveling at 1,000 miles an hour. That just like blows my mind.
Yeah, when you feel like you're still, but you're anything but. You're still in relation to the things around you, but you and everything around you are literally moving at over 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah,
I don't know. I've been thinking about that lately. It's been crazy. So I don't know.
That's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for. I'm always surprised. I put people on the spot and I say, all right, give me something deep. And everybody's like, yo, yeah, here's what I've been thinking about. And boom, they're right on. Cool. Number 2 is tell me what's inspiring you right now.
Just the one thing is really just the fact that we have all this technology, and if this pandemic would have happened in the 80s, that would have just been crazy. Like phone systems probably would have been completely overloaded, because the only way we could communicate back then was with a phone.
Yeah.
Like, how would we have done all this distance learning? That just would have been, there was no internet in the 80s,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, there was, and there probably wasn't enough circuits to facilitate all of the landline phone calls that would have been happening every day, because people need to connect with other people. And I mean, the system isn't made to be run at 100% every day, all day.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So that's been kind of inspiring that we have like all this technology that has, it's not a perfect situation by any means, but it's made it a lot easier to be able to still, have a video conference with your family that you haven't been able to like go visit.
Yeah. So, yep. That's awesome, man. And it makes a lot of sense that would be inspirational to you, given what you do for a living. So, the fact that it can be done is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, and this seems like the easiest one, but people struggle with this one the most. Tell me something stupid.
Yeah, that is tough.
It could be a dumb joke you've heard, just some funny saying, just something gross. It can be potty humor. It can literally be anything. Just tell me something dumb.
Wow. Yeah, that is a tough one. Something stupid. I can't. So I'm a Nationals fan.
Yes, go Nats.
I can't understand why they keep putting this guy. I don't remember his first name, but his last name is Hand. Why they would keep putting him in? He lost us basically our last 2 games with the Yankees.
Yeah, heartbreaker.
Just don't understand that. Why would you do that? So I don't know if that qualifies, but I thought that was pretty stupid.
Well, they're doing something stupid over there apparently. I don't have the ability to watch Nats games at my house right now. I'm a big Nats fan, but not big enough to pay to watch them. So I talked to my mom, who's a huge Nats fan, and I was so bummed. But she said, yeah, it's the bullpen is not what it needs to be over there in the Washington Nationals world right now.
Yep.
And I think they were ahead. Max Scherzer had a hell of a game, and then they ended up losing with the walk-off error. And then the base hit walk off the next night, and so these relief pitchers, man, you got to step up their game.
It was the same pitcher both nights.
Oh, it was.
Caused them a run. Yep.
I didn't know that. Wow, that sucks.
Yep.
That's stupid. Come on, Nats, get your shit together.
So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of games. Maybe the manager's just trying to see if this guy can, build up some confidence or something.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's what's going on in his mind. But, when they're doing bad, everybody's got these questions. But when they're doing good, everybody's on board with what's going on. But I don't know.
Well, and this is how the Nats work, right? They kind of struggle through the first half of the season, and then they just kind of dominate all the way till Game 7 of the World Series. So I guess that's fine. This is when this is when they figure things out for later on.
Exactly. Yep.
Hey, I don't want to keep you any longer, man. I know you've probably got 3. You said earlier you have 5 projects you're in the middle of. And I can't thank you so much for just taking the time to talk to me, getting caught up.
Man, it's good talking to you, man.
You too, man. This really is serving 2 purposes. 1, it is podcast content. I'm not shameful about that at all. But 2, for me personally, it's been really fun to talk to people I have not talked to in forever. And I hope to get to see you live in person sometime soon, because that would be awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I would probably need to talk about it off your podcast, but
right.
Some of the trips that you and my brother have done, that would be cool. I want to do some of them.
Yeah.
And but there's the one that you always did. It was always a bad time of the year for me, but I'm not really involved in the thing in Falls Church as much as I used to be. So
Memorial Day weekend, yeah. That was always a huge deal in Falls Church, Memorial Day. So I always knew where to find you on Memorial Day.
Yep.
And that actually used to be how I would see you. I would see you once a year right next to the judge's booth or whatever at Memorial Day and in Falls Church for the parade, because it was such a big deal. And then I wouldn't see you again until the next year. And now that I rarely set foot in Falls Church anymore, I don't even know if I would find you there now. And so, man, well, we sometimes go camping. We used to go camping twice a year, every year for a good long while. And now it's kind of sporadic. We're kind of doing our own things. Life has changed quite a bit over the last few years for all of us. Yeah. So, man, it'd be awesome as hell if you could come camping with us or something sometime.
All right. Cool.
Duane, thank you so much, my friend. I'm going to let you go.
Alrighty, cool, man. Good to talk to you. Thanks.
Check you later, buddy.
Alrighty, take it easy. Bye.
Duane Lomis, everybody. I enjoyed talking to Duane, getting caught up. And I really do want everybody to know that this was a complete surprise to Duane. And right off the bat, boom, something deep, that's thing number one. Something that's moving and inspiring him as thing number two. Took him a little while on thing number three, but that's kind of normal. If somebody asks you to tell them something stupid, you have like 30 stupid thoughts in your head at any given moment until someone asks you for something stupid, and then, damn it, they all go away. But he came up with some stupid decision the Nats did that cost him 2 games against the Yankees. Yeah, freaking stupid. So be on the lookout. I might be calling you. It'll be on Facebook Messenger. And if it's me calling, it's because I want to talk to you. I haven't talked to you in a while, and maybe you'll be on 3 Things with JR, and maybe I'll ask you for 3 things. So this is your chance. This is the only warning you're going to get. I don't know who I'm going to call. I didn't know I was going to call Duane today. It just happened. It worked out. I said, yeah, Duane. I saw him on my list. I hit call, and he answered, and that's what happened. And that's a lot of fun, making a show that's a surprise, both to the guest and to me. That's it for another episode of 3 Things with JR. I'll be back next week with who knows who. If nobody answers, it'll just be me. But hopefully, I'm going to call you, and you're going to answer, and we're going to have a good time, and we'll talk about at least 3 things. Thanks so much for listening all the way to the end. This isn't quite the end. There's a burp. When you hear the burp, you'll know this show is actually over. Thank you so much for listening. I love you all.
It's a brand new day. It's a brand new